Hello, beautiful people. It is currently 8:07. I'm in Denver, Colorado, and I have to tell you that we are back. And I don't want you to make a big deal of it, even though it's a huge fucking deal. And yeah, I don't think I'm gonna waste time beating around the bush because I have something I want to talk about. And that is the difference between nothing matters and nothing matters that much. For better or for worse, I describe myself as a deep person. And a couple years ago, I set out on the quest to determine the meaning of life. And I read enough books where I feel like I grasped it. And it was oddly similar to the moment in Kung Fu Panda when Tai Lung gets the scroll that was meant for the Dragon Warrior, and there's nothing on the scroll. I read a bunch of books, listened to a bunch of podcasts to find out that the meaning of life is like life is what you make it. It's up to you. And I was pissed because when you spend years looking for an answer, the answer basically being no answer is fucking bullshit. And that stung. That stung me and Tai Lung, but it wasn't no answer. And for a while, I was interpreting the message as nothing matters, which isn't true. Everything matters. Everything's made of matter, and it matters um a different amount depending on who you ask. But I think if the meaning of life is up to each individual, it's fair to say that nothing matters that much. Like we are a bunch of evolved monkeys on a floating space rock that is dependent on the sun for warmth, and the sun is just one of like a trillion stars. And there's a trillion other planets and a trillion other stars. And that can make it feel like my individual life or your individual life is insignificant. And maybe it is, but my life sure as hell isn't insignificant to me. And I hope that your life isn't insignificant to you. And it's such a blessing that each of us aren't the center of the whole universe. I don't want that pressure. I hope you can see that you don't want that pressure. Pressure makes diamonds, but nah, pressure makes stress, and stress kills. Say, like, you lose your job. If you, if you're like, nothing matters, that's like a dark place to be. But if you say nothing matters that much, then you're like, it's just a job. I get another one. And that's the difference between nothing matters and nothing matters that much. Nothing matters is like no reason to live. Nothing matters that much is like no reason to trip, no reason to get angry. And isn't that so freeing that nothing matters that much? That means no matter what happens to you, you finna be okay. And I find a lot of peace in that. I was reading something recently that said we're all just trying to be okay. The bodybuilder is trying to get enough muscles where he'll finally think he's perfect and he'll be okay, so nobody can hurt him. And same with fucking like Bezos and Musk. They're like, if I just get a little bit more money, I'll be okay. And I think that's even true for like monks meditating in the mountains. If they were really enlightened, Why they got their eyes closed all the time? um, I think that made half sense. Sorry, I'm in the middle of the road. It's like an Eckhart Tolle, one of the books. He's like a philosophical writer kind of guy. He once said something that boggled my mind. He said, What's the point of enlightenment if you can't have two glasses of wine?" And the reason it boggled me is because everything I had been reading about like finding peace was like founded in rigidity. But rigidity isn't too fun, man. Um, Rigidity feels like being trapped. Rigidity feels like if I make a wrong move, then I'm toast. And a monk meditating in the mountains is like, if I open my eyes and go do normal life, I'm toast. It feels like almost living out of fear. And maybe they're just in communion with God. And I love that for them. I'm just trying to like make the point that aren't we all just trying to be okay? Aren't we all just trying to be okay? We constantly wish we were different, beat ourselves up for not being perfect when we don't really give ourselves enough credit for how hard it is to survive. And I think as a society, we don't even really acknowledge that life is hard because we don't want it to be hard. We want to pretend it's easy, but when you pretend it's easy, you're constantly running into the truth that it's not. Like ignorance ain't bliss, in my opinion, in most cases, or at least some cases. Because living a lie, like you can't escape the truth, my boy. You can't escape the truth, my boy. An example would be like ignorance is bliss. Like you think the sky is red, like you can't even go aside. And every time you catch a glimpse of the window, you're gonna be like, what the hell is happening? And then either you can face the truth that the sky is bluer than the ocean, or you can stay away from the windows and your world gets even smaller. But the truth will set you free, my boy. And it's not always easy to face the truth. It's often not. I think that's why, in some cases, we prefer to remain ignorant. But in the long run, the truth will set you free. I'm on a walk in Denver. I'm about to walk past a woman and a dog, and I'm nervous. It's a cute dog. Morning. But I'm on a walk in Denver, and I just came up on a year in Denver. And did that year go perfectly? No, it did not. Has any year ever gone perfectly? No, it has not. But I've came a long way. Came a long way, man. I ran a half marathon. I got through my first year of grad school in becoming a therapist. That came with a whole boatload of like mindset shattering realizations. To be honest, probably it was one of the hardest years of my life. There's a song called like Hell of a Year by Parker McCollum, not the one from Gold Rush. Um, and I started listening to it somewhere like last winter, and I couldn't stop listening to it because last year beat the shit out of me over and over again. Last summer I was feeling good. I started doing the pod. I moved to Denver. I was feeling fearless. And then I started grad school. I had a couple They kind of made me look at my life in a new way. It got cold. It was less sunny, and I was in a dark place. And I stopped doing the pod, and I started to feel lost again. And like last winter was one of the darker times of my life. I didn't really want to start off talking about why I stopped doing the pod, but I wasn't in a good place. I wasn't feeling too good about myself, and I didn't really want to be on camera, and I didn't want to be yapping to folks because I was like, these people shouldn't listen to a damn word I say because I'm feeling lost. But that last year wasn't a failure, it was a setback. I really think progress, growth, even life, it's not linear. There's setbacks. It's a bumpy road. Another woman and a dog. Ooh, and a guy and a dog. Morning. But it's a bumpy road. It's two steps forward, one step back. Actually, it's more like three steps forward, two steps back. And after two steps back, you're like, man, what the fuck? I've been working, I've been grinding, and now I'm back to where I was like a fucking year ago. This is bullshit. I want to give up. And that's what happens when we all pretend like life isn't hard. It's like, why is my life not perfect? Whose life is perfect? Name one person. Look around you, bro. Sis. I know a lot of chicks listen to this podcast. Um, who look around you? One of my mom's friends says everyone is dealing with something. Everyone is getting their ass kicked by something. And that's why you shouldn't judge nobody. Because we don't even really talk about it most of the time. You see, bro, on the street, and you say, what guan? And they say, I'm chilling, bro. You really? Are you just not talking about the shit you dealing with? And if it's like a stranger, if it's an acquaintance, I get it. I don't think you need to get into the nitty gritty with every Metty Betty you meet on the street. But I hope you're talking about it with your family, oh, your friends, maybe even your colleagues at work. Because life is too hard to do alone. I'm going to say that again. Life is too hard to do alone. I don't want to do it alone. And the good news is, I don't have to. I spent many years of my life, when people asked me how I was doing, I said, I'm good. And they were like, really? You look sad. And I was like, fuck you, man. We don't talk about that. And I didn't even like, that's actually a true story from high school. I used to be like, people would be like, you doing okay? I'd be like, fuck you, man. Why you gotta ask me that? I was doing okay. But the truth, you can't run from the truth, man. And I was sad. I didn't even really know I was sad, but I was sad. So high school was a tough time for me. So was college. I'm doing a little better now, but life's tough. Um, and for a long time, I tried to hide from my problems. And after a while, I was like, this shit really ain't working. And last winter, when I was talking about one of the darker times of my life, um, that wasn't all bad. A lot of good ended up coming from that. And the good that ended up coming from that is I let some people in. I let my family in. Apparently, they knew I had some mental health stuff, but they didn't know the extent. And they didn't know that I had been spending pretty much every moment of every day trying to fight it, trying to get by, despite feeling like shit. I told my best friend, And it's really not easy to tell one of your boys that you're struggling. But because he was my actual boy, I love, he gave me some kind words and he said, "Dog, I'm always here for you. I got your back." And that's all I needed to hear. I didn't need to talk about it. I didn't need to like cry to him. But sometimes when you're not doing okay, the added pressure of trying to get everybody to think you're doing okay when you're not doing okay is just too much, man. And so from that point on, when I was having a bad day, I felt less like scared to tell him. I felt like I had someone to talk about it with. And talking about it always makes it better. That's why I'm becoming a therapist. And when last year it felt like I was a failure. It felt like my life came crashing down. It felt like I had started some cool stuff, but I failed. I wasn't good enough to keep going. Even though it was my choice to stop. And I mean, it wasn't. I just couldn't keep going. As a man, the MO is pretty much shut your mouth and work harder. And there is some beauty in that because you don't make as much excuses and you get shit done rather than just whining about it. But you need to let somebody in, man. I hope you do because life is hard and it's too hard to do alone. And I let those people in and I bounce back like I always do, like 2-3 did with 4-5. Humans are incredibly resilient, and I am a human. So through the transitive property, I am resilient. And just because I crash don't mean that I can't fix my shit and get going again, man. It's not about how hard you can get. It's about how hard you can get hit and keep moving forward. Rocky, the Italian stallion. I'm the Irish stallion. And if you hit me and I end up on the ground, I hope you feel good. Because, motherfucker, I'm getting back up. And I'm angry. Anyone, did anyone watch All American? That show about that football player, named Spencer. And it was like, it was a really good show for like the beginning of it. And then he just had this like go-to line where he'd be like, "I'm angry." Like, bro, what? It just felt weird. I don't know. But I am angry. I got a lot of I got a lot of moxie. Not moxie. I got a lot of energy, man. And I'm tired of trying to fit all my energy in this box of who I think y'all want me to be. Fuck who y'all want me to be, man. And here's the paradox. Paradox alert. Paradox o'clock. Who you really want me to be is myself. So me trying to be not even who you want me to be, me trying to be who I think you want me to be, that's a lose-lose, man. That's a lose-lose. In high school, I couldn't have been more, it started probably in middle school. I couldn't have been more concerned with wanting other people to like me. It's all I thought about. I forgot what I actually liked, what I actually enjoyed doing, because that didn't matter as much as what you thought of me. And I was so cool in elementary school, man. I'm still pissed about the fall off I endured in middle school. Because I went from someone who was confident, who was good at sports, who made his friends laugh, who had some killer hair, to in middle school. It's when we started caring about females, man. I was talking about this with my boy the other day. You start you start liking girls, and then you start worrying about if girls like you. And then you start worrying about where you are on the totem pole of popularity, and your life is never the same. And I laugh about it, but it's not funny, man. It sucks. It sucks. I think that's what they call puberty. Fuck those hormones, man. Like Inside Out, I watched Inside Out 2 in the theater with my mom, and I sobbed my eyes out, man. Because that shit was telling my life story. But guess what, motherfucker? Story's not over. Flip the page. I'm still here. Um, and for a while, the story was I like everybody, not everybody loved me. That's a stretch. I was kind of an asshole in elementary school. I didn't really have much empathy, but at least I had some fucking moxie. At least I had some fucking swagger. And I lost all that when I started worrying about what other people thought of me. Because fuck what they think, man. It's not their life. And when I really realized that is when I had been working so hard for, I probably, how old was I in middle school? Like, let's say 13. Almost like a decade, at least half a decade of trying to get other people to like me. And at first, the more you try, the less people actually like you. Because it's like that, you're just like agreeing with people because you think that's what they want to hear. That's not what they want to hear, man. I want to hear the truth. I want you to be real with me. I want you to keep it a buck. But people like say a girl I liked was like, my favorite artist is Billie Eilish. I was like, oh yeah, me too. Cause I just wanted to be with that girl, man. But fuck that. Fuck Billie Eilish. Fuck William Eyelash. I like other artists who I can't say because they have ruined their public persona through anti-Semitism. But I like J. Cole. I like Coda the Friend. Fuck Billie Eilish, man. And I really realized this whole lesson when I got to the point where I got so good at, I mean, I did and I didn't. I got to the point where other people liked me, but I didn't like myself. And that didn't feel like I got half the puzzle right. It felt like I got the whole puzzle wrong. Because in elementary school, I wasn't an asshole, but people fucked with me because I was me. It's like, why would I really want to hang out with someone who's not even being real with me? Like, nobody, maybe in the short term, you like it when someone blows smoke up your ass. But that's what happens, like, when people are like, I don't know, man. It's like, I got to the point where people liked me and I didn't like myself, and I was like, it just clicked. I was like, what other people think of me matters zero if I don't like myself. And that's when I started having to be true to myself. And that was hard because I don't fit in a lot of these boxes that society makes. Like men don't talk about their emotions. Fuck that. I'm gonna talk about whatever the hell I want to talk about. And that don't make me weak. Being scared to be judged for talking about your emotions, now that's weak. Me doing something I know I'll get judged for, now that's strength. And there are a lot of things where I do fit in a box. Like I'm in social work school and people see me and they're like, I know exactly who that guy is. That's the guy, that's the white boy with good hair. He don't have a damn problem in the world. When behind the scenes, they know jack shit about what I'm going through. And people in my school, they make jokes. Every time like we're talking about a male client, they're like, what consideration should we have for this client? Which they're all about for every other population. But when the white male pop up, they laugh. They laugh, man. And you know what I don't think is funny? That the rate of suicide for men is like 3 to 4 times higher. Do they laugh at that? You really think being a man is a cakewalk? I got news for you, sister. I got some news. It ain't easy on this side either. I know. I believe the patriarchy is real. I'll be the first to admit that. But if you think being a man is all butterflies and rainbows, I don't, I got, I'm gonna have to get back you on that one because you left me speechless. Yes, women are taken less seriously in the professional setting, but do you know how much it sucks having to pretend like you're happy all the time? Have pretend like you're doing great all the time? Like if you're not doing great, you get a pint of ice cream, a bottle of wine, and you link up with your sisters and you do what you meant to do, but we can't do that, man. We grab a beer, we put on a football game, and we pretend that everything's fine. And most of the time, you have a couple of beers with your friends, and you're like, maybe everything is fine, but everything not fine because I'm pissed. Because I don't like having to hide how I'm feeling. And I think that's a me thing. Maybe other guys don't really have the same sentiment, but I wear my heart on my sleeve. I really do not enjoy hiding how I feel. I like being authentic. And maybe it's because I learned the hard way that being fake ain't gonna make you happy, man. It really ain't. But I don't care how I got here, because I got something to say. And things like women ain't happy with the patriarchy. I'm not happy with the patriarchy. I hope that other men aren't happy with the patriarchy. Here's the truth, some are, some aren't. But how about we level the playing field a little bit? That's what y'all want. That's what some of us want. Let's do it. How we do that exactly, I don't know. For me, I I start by being the change I want to see in the world. Me and Gandhi. Because that's the easiest way, and that's where you have the most power is choosing how you act, and it's also how you be happy. So it's a win-win. I turn a lose-lose into a win-win. I turn a frown-frown into a grin-grin. Now let's get cracking. How do I do that? Maybe it's with the podcast. How about that? Maybe I get some females on here and we talk about and we hash it out. Maybe I get some men on here and we open up. Talk about how being a man ain't all butterflies and rainbows. But thank y'all for listening, man. My walk is coming to an end. So I guess so of this episode. But I appreciate anyone who listened. And for those who did listen, while I took some time off, I'm sure y'all were fine without the podcast. But some of you expressed that you were sad I stopped making it. And I hope you know that I was sad too. But it wasn't in the cards. I was going through some stuff that I didn't really want to go through publicly. Because I'm a man and I can't do that. And I don't want to only talk about gender norms on this shit, but it's kind of it's something I'm passionate about. That and the movie Rocky. Um, but ending message would be yourself. Everyone else is taken. Nah, the real one, I mean, that is true. I know it sounds corny, but it's true. Um, is that my cup outside? Um, but the ending message of the day would be cut yourself some slack, man. Sis. Stop being mad you're not perfect and take a second to give yourself some credit on how hard you worked just to be okay and how far you've came. Even if there have been setbacks, you've came a long way. And I'm proud of you. And I hope you're proud of yourself. And I love you. And I hope you love yourself. And also, let's get rid of these gender norms, baby, because they're not affecting me the way I want them to. All right, I'm outie. 5,000. Peace.